Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Daily Grind. I am the Podfather, Trey McLean, Trey Mack, whatever you want to call me. Of course, we've got President Christine, the one who missed the show yesterday because she decided to take a nap and didn't wake up until after the show would have already started. It's okay, I've been there, done that. I can't say that I've never
been there, done that multiple times. Okay, and then I woke up at like 9:05. Like, oh shit. With Trey, usually it's I get a text at like noon, or I don't get a text at all, and it's just the next morning. Hey, you ready? And I'm like, oh, we're just gonna ignore the fact that you disappeared yesterday.
Yes, yes, that's not important right now. No, today I've been up since 5 a.m. this morning, and for those who know what I do or don't know, whatever it is, I wear so many hats when it comes to the podcasting world, and I do a show called OIWA Worldwide. And part of that is the wrestling promotion that I work for, Sport Championship Wrestling, is part of this entire group, which spans from Texas to Arkansas to Tennessee to Oregon to Frankfurt, Germany to England, and so on and so on. Well, we have a show that airs on Thursday at 7:05 p.m. on YouTube, and we didn't really have much of a show to go with what we had currently here, product wise here. So the promoter says, let's reach out to our promotion out in England, and I'm good friends with the promoter who works out there. So I contacted her. She helped send me a whole bunch of stuff today, and she sent me 3 matches, and I went through there and I did commentary through all 3 of them. Kind of a nice way to get to know who these people are, because once again, it's like a fresh pair of eyes looking at these guys. And so that should be in the can and should be ready to roll by about 7:05 p.m. tomorrow on YouTube on the OIWA YouTube page. And of course, Roku and a few other places are going to be carrying it as well. So I've been busy doing that pretty much all morning. So I'll be ready for a good nap by the time we're done with this show.
We have a comment.
We do have a comment, do we? Let's see what that comment says. There's the promoter from England watching us, or being watched from England. Awesome. Yes, Lindsay is a big help.
And what Lindsay needs to do is help us get tickets to England so we can go watch the show live. But I'm just saying.
Well, you know what? You know what? I have mentioned to her that maybe Contract Pro Wrestling could use a network. I'm just saying. I mean, I am the Podfather after all.
I am a previous actress back in the Disney, and so if anyone needs a fake girlfriend, just let me know.
There we go. There we go. Well, anyway, now they've got some really good talent out there at CPW, and and it's a very different kind of crowd than what I'm used to, because I'm used to people just being loud and just really just in the wrestlers' faces. Over there in England, you got the wrestlers got to kind of bring it to them to get them kind of going, and
the crowd is more dignified.
A little more dignified, which it's cool. There we go.
Can be a Comic-Con girly. I'm down. I just want to go. I got my passport ready. Let's do it. I've always wanted to go to England and like the whole UK, England, Scotland.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but they came down here last month and were part of Sormania, and of course their team beat my team. But it's okay because it's just got it. Listen. I got to see some talent. They got one guy there that I saw his match today. He didn't come to Dallas, but I saw his match today, and I was really impressed with him. Gunnar Riggs, and he
I like his name. Is that his real name?
Well, that's what he went by. And there we go. So we like to clap in the UK. Yeah.
See, in America, it's very America, and we just yell in your face and scream.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're right. Gunnar Rig is impressive. He is very amazing.
And if that's his real name, his parents knew exactly what they were doing.
Right. No, but I mean, it's cool to have an audience and go, good move. Good move. No, but
You
no,
go.
I mean, I enjoy doing their commentary and helping them out with and of course they're part of the OIWA brand that we have here in DFW and Oklahoma now, but I mean in the DFW area / wherever else we're all located at. So definitely, go check out the OIWA YouTube page if you get a chance to. OIWA Worldwide airs tomorrow 7:05 p.m. on YouTube, and of course, I think it's going to be on Roku and Amazon and a few other places that Bobby's putting it on as well. So, do go check into all that and go see Mr. Worldwide, the Podfather. So, of course, you'll see more of Mrs. Worldwide, which is Lindsay, because she pretty much hosts the show. And a shout out to her and Brian Creed and a few other people out there that really help us put that show together. So,
and we'll be waiting for our tickets in the mail.
Yeah, she's on it.
I'm going to throw that out there until it sticks. I'm speaking it into the universe. I'm just saying.
She got you. Nah, but
a passport and a clean record. Let's
go. There we go. Hey, why not, right? Why not?
I love the UK and England and all that. I just like, well, obviously, I like history, so I really like the old buildings, the castles, that kind of crap. But I also just really like my favorite nutritionist in the world is from England. I just like English people. They remind me of like more civilized New Yorkers. Like they're very blunt, but they're like more polite about it. I guess it's hard to explain. Oh yeah, and I have an assistant, so we have to take her with. She works for me.
There we go.
Maybe SMU does a externship, like a summer extern program, or like a semester abroad in Oxford if you qualify. That'd be so sick.
That's dawned on me. I hear this on Trey Mack, not Trey McLean, so I guess Wally won't see it unless he tunes the Daily Grind. It's okay though. Hey, it's a new audience. But
Wily won't argue about everything.
Yeah, of course you will. Those lives over there. We're going to talk about those people.
England has no rights.
Yeah, I'm sure that would go well like a fart in church.
Open up a
well,
beer
for those watching on the Trey Mack channel, yeah, I am the Podfather. This is my morning podcast I do every morning here. For those who are not familiar with this, thanks for joining us. No, it's not wrestling.
We talk about literally everything from politics
everything
to life
else,
to.
We joke around a lot, so
yeah,
good times. But people came saying, "Oh, no, I'm out."
As soon as we said politics, they were like, "I don't care about America's politics. I'm out. Bye."
Right. Trust me, I don't either. I don't care about it either. But
I wouldn't if it wasn't part of my job.
Right. Oh, that's on you. Okay, let's get into this here.
Be a lawyer, they said. It'll be fun.
All right. Let's get into this.
Politics is crazy. She even knows.
Oh yeah. Oh, she was over here. She got to see it firsthand.
Oh god. Yeah, it's a shit show. But I'm in law school, so unfortunately, law and politics are two good buddies. So this is my life. This is what I do.
Yeah, attack me from hell. That is true. Well, let's get into it here. A little news talking here. We want to start with
fun. We can start with Diddy. Everyone knows Diddy.
Yeah.
So do you know anything about the Diddy thing?
I've heard parts
Diddy,
of this.
Sean Combs, whoever you know him as. Colbert and John Oliver. I watched the Graham Norton show. BBC America used to be my favorite channel. Yeah, she's like, I'm out. I don't want to watch this crap.
Don't blame me. Don't blame me.
So Diddy he has like sexual abuse allegations against him.
Right.
So the FBI the other day raided both his LA home and his Miami home. As part of federal criminal investigation to allegations related to sex trafficking, sexual assault, solicitation, and distribution of illegal narcotics and firearms.
Hmm.
His attorney came out saying that the federal FBI used too much force when they came into his home.
Oh God.
There was a gross misuse of military level force when they executed the search warrants. I'm like, welcome to getting raided by the FBI. That's what they do. I've never seen an FBI raid that's like, knock, knock, knock. Are you in? Can we come in?
Are you ready for us? No, not yet. Let me hide everything.
He said that the raid was a witch hunt based on meritless accusations made in civil lawsuits.
Wow. He's got Vincent Mann talking for him.
Yeah. Earlier today, Homeland Security investigations in New York executed law enforcement actions as part of an ongoing investigation with assistance from the HSI in Los Angeles and Miami and our local law enforcement partners. We will provide more information as it comes. So pretty much there's people saying that he was sex trafficking them. He's been dealing narcotics and giving people illegal firearms. So the FBI is investigating him. And last I heard, his plane was seen in like off the Caribbean islands somewhere. So he fled, and he got a tip from somebody that they were coming because he was already in the air and out of U.S. airspace before they got to his house.
He's taking the Roman Polanski way out, isn't he?
Stay out of the country while everything is getting done by his lawyers.
Well, imagine if he was still tied to J-Lo at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, how crazy would that have been?
Well, but Puff Daddy, you got to think he's been involved with a lot of shit. Like there's some people that still think he's part of Biggie getting shot.
Yeah, there's that too. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah,
so they supposedly recently found the guy that shot Tupac. Supposedly, they know who it is now, but they've probably known who it is for a long time. You're telling me someone got shot on Las Vegas Strip and nobody saw anything?
I mean, they caught the guy who shot up in the hotel there a couple years ago, so they found him in no time.
Yeah, and it took them 25 years to find Tupac's killer. There was somebody with a lot of power involved in that. There's just no way around it. Right. But yeah, so we'll see. This is something that's ongoing and still unfolding, so we'll see what happens with it. But what do you think? Do you believe the allegations? Like, if you were to go one way or the other?
I wouldn't be surprised if it was true.
It wouldn't shock you.
I mean, compared to all the shocking things that have happened to celebrities these days, I mean, why would I be shocked? I mean, it's
definitely the narcotics and the illegal firearms. Like, I can almost bet that's true. The sex trafficking, I don't know, but I mean, you see the stuff that, like you said, is going on with Vince McMahon. This crap is probably a lot more common than most people think. Like passing off chicks to your friends for money and stuff. Like it's realized.
Yeah, well, the fact that we have a term to it now, we're calling it sex trafficking by just saying, "Hey, you see this girl here? You want her? $50." Basically, you're pimping out the girls while you're doing.
Well, yeah.
So, all right. Next we got three other things on here. There's one.
Okay, did you hear about the cargo ship?
I did hear about this, and that is my sister lives. And by the way, shout out to my sister Sherry. She broke her collarbone in 2 places a couple days ago. She's on the mend here for the next 2 months.
Didn't you get that text while we were on the show?
Yeah, and she's adjusting right now, but she lives over in Woodbine, Maryland, an hour or so away from Baltimore.
Yeah, it took out the entire Francis Scott Key Bridge.
Yeah. Well, now, did they say there were any cars on the bridge at this time when it happened?
Yeah, so they're saying there is casualties. They said there's about 6 or 7 cars on the bridge when it happened.
Damn.
They were giving a Mayday signal, but some people obviously didn't hear it. It was pretty late at night, thankfully, so there wasn't as many cars as there probably would have been. So it says 6 construction workers who were filling potholes on into it are presumed dead. The crew was working in the middle of the bridge when the ship struck, causing the bridge to collapse. The bodies haven't yet been recovered.
Damn. What a way to go. What a way to go.
So the ship issued a Mayday warning just shortly before the crash. The water, one unharmed, one in serious condition. There was a few cars on the bridge. Top officials from the U.S. have offered assistance, including Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who directed the Florida Division of Emergency Management to go offer assistance to the state of Maryland. What they're saying is that it was a electrical failure. Like if you watch some of the videos, you see the light flicker on and off. Like it turns off for a minute and then comes back on for a minute and then it like turned back off. And then they started doing the Mayday signal. And then when they hit the bridge, that shit tumbles like it was made of sticks. Like the entire bridge just goes. So, and they hit a support beam. They didn't even hit like the middle of the bridge. They hit a beam and it just crumbled. But they're saying about on the bridge filling potholes, and then there was a couple cars on it. So they're still fishing stuff out of the water to see and investigating it. But right now they're saying it's an accident, just electrical failure, but it was a ship coming from like Ukraine or something. So of course the conspiracy theorists,
the other side,
the Wileys. Go look at Wiley's page right now. It's
I saw it. Yeah, it's like wow. Here we go.
Just another coincidence.
Let's pull the string back and let us go.
Man, my freaking. Okay, I might have to finagle my stuff for a second and turn on my speakers because my headset's dying.
Oh no.
Yeah, let me see if give me a second. Talk to the people. I'm going to get my other headset.
Hello, people. Those watching, this is the Daily Grind here. We try to run this show every day, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Monday through Friday. On you tune into the Daily Grind on Facebook. We're on YouTube as well. Of course, I've got banners that'll show all that crap. Here we go. Here's this. Follows on Facebook, the Daily Grind. Of course, subscribe to us on YouTube. Best way to find it is Daily Grind Trey. See a picture of us, this ugly mug, and of course her. And then just type it in. You like that? Go to Instagram. Go to _daily_grind _. And of course, subscribe to all the fun stuff that we do on here. And we talk a lot of politics, sports, movies. This is not a wrestling podcast like I normally do, so this is a little bit out of the ordinary. But this is kind of an idea to, to get better at this is what we're trying to do. Of course, you can check out her show that she has, The Middle Ground with Presley Christine, that runs sparingly, but it does run. Promise you. Of course, Offshoot TV airs on Thursday night. 9 p.m. Myself, Michael McCurdy, Billy Hills, and of course Omega, and of course Tommy Two Wheels if he ever returns to our show. We're all on there talking pro wrestling and all that you can imagine. Of course, Fit Trends with Presley Christine and Karen Ashley, they do their thing, and of course Sonny Clark every Sunday, well mostly every Sunday. He does a sports Gaucho sports show. We talk NFL talk a lot during that show, so definitely go check that out. I'm on there every once in a while, so do this. Yeah, you missed Monday's show, Pam. We talk porn. Yeah, we talk it all, folks. For those who are not familiar, if you're in the state of Texas and if you want to watch porn on your phone, apparently there's a certain thing you have to go through now. So That's all in hopes because kids have phones too, and kids can have access to that as well. And she's back. I can't hear you. You have to unmute yourself. Yeah, you're muted. There you go.
Okay. I had to switch to my other headset because my my wireless one was dying.
Yeah, the one day you had to work. Oh yeah. And here we are talking porn.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was a good show.
I enjoyed it. I mean, not that I enjoy the porn. I mean, it was more fun seeing.
You knew a lot of sites for me to check, Trey.
Oh, I had to do my homework. I mean, come on.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, there was that. But of course, here's the thing. I live in Oklahoma. Presley lives in Texas, so she had to kind of see, what was available and what wasn't. And of course, there you go. Pam was impressed. So, yeah, they're out there, folks. If you can find it, you can find it. I'm pretty sure not all porn sites have been checked out of Texas yet, but I think more than like maybe 75% of them have probably.
Yeah, it's their way of sticking it to Texas. They just took their stuff off.
Right. That's them not effing with them. So, okay.
So what's next?
Up next on our little tour of the news that you sent me, we've got the NYC Council asks state's highest court to let non-citizens vote in local elections.
It was thankfully struck down, but what do you think about that? Them trying to get illegal immigrants to vote.
Damn libs. I can hear Wiley on that one now. I mean, once again, this is just going to give Trump more of a case to have fun with his nonsense. So it is what it is.
Here's my thing: I'm totally for like legal migration. Like if you want to come here because you're trying to live a better life or whatever, like I'm totally good with the melting pot. I love Hispanic families and I love their food. But when it comes to voting, like I wouldn't be able to go over to Japan and start voting for their elections. I wouldn't be able to go over to England and vote for the House of Commons. You have to be a citizen to vote because you got to be living in the country and legally in the country and doing things by the book in order. Like you can't even vote if you're a felon. If you're, if you're making bad decisions and you're not doing the right thing, you don't get to decide the way the country goes. Like, if you're making bad decisions, you don't get to make bad decisions for everybody else. It's pretty much how it's supposed to go, right? So, thank God this was struck down. And if this would have gone through, it would have been fuel in the tank for them to try and find some kind of amendment to get illegal immigrants to vote in the national election. So it's just... I'm not in favor of this, and it's not because I hate immigrants or something. I love immigrants. I think if you're doing something illegal, you shouldn't be able. If you're doing something illegal, you're obviously not making good decisions, and therefore you shouldn't be able to vote on decisions for everybody else. So that's my hot take. But the article reads that a New York City Council asked New York's highest court to reverse a pair of rulings in a move that could ultimately allow non-citizens to vote in local elections. The controversial law would allow 800,000 non-citizens with green cards to vote. So they're increasing it up to the highest court, which is like the New York Supreme Court, their appeals court. It's been winding its way through the court system since 2021. And the law was struck down as unconstitutional by the appeals court in 2022. And that was appealed by the mayor, Eric Adams, and the city council. the appeals court said that this could potentially, like, Skyfall. He wrote in his ruling that if non-citizens could vote, then technically they could also be allowed to run for mayor. And then you have the downward spiral of that. So what do you think about that?
Well, yeah, non-citizens shouldn't. I mean, if we can't vote over there, they shouldn't vote over here. So I'm glad what happened, and they shut all that down. But you know, there's a movement out there of trying to get people who aren't qualified to vote, so it could change elections. You know.
Yeah. Well, they were trying to get young people to vote too, like changing the voting age to like 16. And I'm like, you don't know jack about politics when you're 16. You barely know about it when you're 18.
You're pretty dangerous if you know about it at 16. because at that point you think you know too much.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's. By the way, there's nothing worse than a 60-year-old kid who thinks he knows everything about politics when he hasn't stepped foot into the business world yet.
Well, that's what's coming out of a lot of these colleges too. These colleges are ran by very liberal people, and they're kind of educating the masses in their thing. And a lot of these kids come out of, like, they go into college like semi-normal and come out like a crazy green-haired liberal with
damn libs.
Like, you know, I sound like Wiley, but with like 20 piercings. You know, they come out looking totally different with a totally different view of the world. But, you know, so it can be dangerous. It can be dangerous to allow people to decide stuff for everyone else before they really have the chance to live any life, you know?
Mm-hmm.
People who have just taken everyone else's word for gold and haven't even yet to be butt rammed by the world yet. It will happen. But yeah. So this one went in the right direction, but it brings up a good conversation because it's like, should people that come over here, even if they went through the whole process and they got a green card, like, they're still not technically a citizen, but do you allow them to vote? Like, that gets.
Well, my mother-in-law she's from Norway, right? And she has to. I mean, she's not a citizen, so she can't vote. So she doesn't have any issue with it either because she's not very political to begin with. But I mean, she's, you know, like, she understands her rules. Yeah, I'm not here to. Now her husband can. Her husband's born in Iowa, but she can't. So.
It brings up a good question. Like, I'd be maybe more willing to let green card holders, like, that have gone through the entire system and got their, you know, whatever. But, like, I don't know too much really about the path to citizenship as I should. I need to get more versed in that. But maybe something about if you've been in the country legally for a certain amount of time, but legally, like, you have to be registered, green card, something like. Good track record, no like arrests on your background, that kind of thing. Like, if you've been a good American citizen for a certain amount of years, then, like, I'd be more willing to have a conversation about letting those people vote. But if you're just like coming over, especially illegally, or you haven't been here very long, because there's a lot of people that come over here for bad intentions too. I think that's kind of where the bleeding heart liberals kind of like, oh, it's just people trying to escape poverty. It's like, no, there's also a huge amount of drug trafficking, sex trafficking. There's a bunch of military-age males coming over from the Middle East and China. Like, these aren't people that are coming over with good intentions. Like, we talked about that guy last week who said he was on his way to New York to build a bomb, and he was working for Hamas, which is the terrorist organization that's attacking Israel right now. And in one of the worst terror attacks against Jews since the Holocaust, they went in the middle of night and raped women and burned babies alive. These aren't good people.
Well, they have an agenda.
So.
Well, but I mean, now let me ask you a question. Let's say Diddy has already fled the country right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now he can still vote by doing a mail-in, can't he?
Depending on what state he's registered in. In California, he probably could, yeah.
I mean, either California or Miami, or I don't know, it's a city, but I mean, either he's for it or he's.
Until he's actually been charged with something, yeah, he can still vote.
So
But once he's been charged with the crime and convicted, then he won't be able to vote anymore. But I don't know Diddy's history. I don't know if he's been convicted of anything before this. So
convicted. I mean, I know he's been tried a few times.
Because it all depends. If you're a felon, you can't vote.
I don't think he was ever convicted as a felon. I don't know if he served any jail time. I have no idea the history of Diddy. I'm sure there are those who are watching who probably know more about that than I do.
Yeah, I don't know very much about him either. Other than like the obvious rapper stuff.
The rapper stuff, him being linked to J-Lo for a little bit, and then that was about it.
The Biggie conspiracy.
Yeah, that too. As you mentioned, I totally forget about that. So
we'll see. It brings up questions, though. It brings up, and I'm always willing to have a conversation about it and find a middle ground with it. But it's as far as this, like, it's like no, like people.
Hey, I would love to get my mother-in-law on here and to get her thoughts about that whole entire thing, because given her situation, how she's not, a U.S. citizen, what does this mean to her? That'd be kind of cool to actually have her on here. So that is, she wants to get up early. And
there definitely is there's a mismark in the system as far as what they do for people who come over illegally, like especially California. They'll give you like a cell phone, food stamps, housing assistance. I just went on to I went to look at the healthcare marketplace the other day to see if I could get insurance and stuff, like private insurance. I don't make any money right now because I'm home with the kids in school. And they still wanted, the cheapest plan was $300 a month. And I was like, what am I going to pull that out of my ass? Like, where am I going to get $300? And these people just walk over the border and get shit for free. So I understand where the Trumpers get so pissed is because you see veterans on the street and then you see people coming over illegally getting housing and free food. And that obviously is something that needs to be worked out, because that is not, you should be helping your citizens far before you're helping people that are literally committing a crime by coming over the border.
Right.
So very I understand where they get mad with that. I do.
Very true. Okay, last story we got on here.
My guy, DeSantis. I love him. Right. Not like a Trumper love, but I think he's a good politician. we gotta differentiate those, because there's like the Trump love, and then there's like, oh, I think he's a very formidable politician that makes good decisions and he puts his money where his mouth is. Right. He signed a piece of legislation that's going to make the Bleeding Heart liberals very upset, and then the more conservative parents are going to be very happy about it. So. And then you got you and me that are kind of in the middle. But this one I'm kind of for psychological reasons when it comes to kids. So on Monday, he signed legislation to get minors off of social media. Governor Ron DeSantis signed legislation Monday aimed at kicking minors off social media, putting the final stamp on a top Florida Republican priority that is widely expected to face legal challenges from the tech industry. Under the new law, many platforms are prohibited from allowing children younger than 14 to have an account. State leaders contend that accessing social media is harmful to their development and mental health.
Well, and I get that from all the cyberbullying and all the other things that go on that are now beyond what I grew up with. Because back when bullying was actually being in your face, bullying, hitting you in the face type shit. Now it's pretty much just, words will hurt you type of thing.
Well, and then on top of it, the way it affects your brain development, because you see a lot of these kids, like the mental health rate has dropped drastically since social media came about, because it's putting a lot more emphasis on looks, on what you have versus what you don't have, as far as material possessions. It's everyone's putting like their lives out there, and people are only showing the good sides. No one's showing themselves when they look like crap and it's 5 a.m. and their hair's like everyone's only showing the golden stuff. You're not seeing the bad sides of life. So it gives this highlight reel of what you think life is supposed to be. And it makes kids very depressed a lot sooner. Like on top of the average teenage angst and all the hormones that are happening and everything. So it's a combination of all these things. And there's studies that are showing it really does inhibit their brain development and makes them significantly more depressed at a younger age, which is why you're seeing now like 10-year-olds committing suicide. What does a 10-year-old have to be depressed about? You know, like they're 10. But it's happening a lot more now. And they're linking it a lot to the rise of social media. So I am okay with this. So the article says this is correct. Social media has harmed children and has harmed minors. It has made them less likely to engage in the kind of activities that make childhood awesome, like going outside, touching grass, hanging out with their friends. Screens suck children in, and social media is the worst form of screens. It's not even like a video game. Social media is about perverting your child's mind and sucking them into a world where people do not have their best interests at heart, where they're constantly being told to live up to standards that are not realistic and not real, or where they're being told they have friends that they don't actually have. Jonathan Haidt, a social psychologist and professor at New York University, has an excellent book about this, about how social media has destroyed an entire generation of people. It is going to do the same to the next generation unless kids don't get on social media. Political continues reporting, the measure, which also targets adult websites, aligns Florida with other states like Arkansas and Utah that have attempted to rein in social media use, drawing the ire of the tech companies and free speech advocates. There are no free speech rights in the United States for minors. Minors' free speech rights are relatively limited because they are minors. They do not have the capacity to consent to activity that would normally fall under the preservation of free speech for adults. That is particularly true when discussing topics such as pornography or social media. DeSantis was quoted saying, "It used to be, well, if they're out somewhere, maybe they're not supervised, maybe some predator can strike. Now with things like social media, you can have a kid in the house safe, but you still have predators that can get right in there into your own home." The Florida legislation, which is known as FLHB3, represents a compromise between DeSantis and lawmakers led by House Speaker Paul Renner, who initially proposed enacting the strictest social media prohibitions in the country. The original bill, which was vetoed by DeSantis earlier this month, would have blocked all minors younger than 16. The law ultimately signed Monday gives parents the power to grant 14 and 50-year-olds consent to use the applications. But it's at least starting the conversation and the battleground. And obviously, like it says, the tech companies are probably going to push back on it because that's going to take some of the kids, especially TikTok, take the kids off the platform, you know. But I'm for it. I think social media definitely had a detrimental effect on young people.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of kids' brains aren't ready to take on that kind of, involvement in life at that early of an age. There are some that are. I mean, I know.
Well, it's hard to make that distinction at that age between the reality that people aren't showing their whole lives; they're just showing you the nice parts.
Right. I know a kid named Z who, big time sports fan, and uses a lot of social media to find a lot of his news and does a lot of things with Sonny's show on this show right here. But he's like a 14, 15-year-old kid. But real knowledgeable, and the kid's got a really good background with his mom and everything else, and they understand how cyberbullying really works and this and that. He's the same kid that smashed me in the head with the tortilla. Yeah. So I take back the good kid part of that from that conversation. But anyway, I mean, so some kids are ready, a lot aren't, and because a lot aren't, you have to like. It's not just one person's ruining it for everybody. A lot of people have ruined it for a lot of people, and because in the nature of the human mind, some kids just get really to that point to where some are in that bully stage where this is no way to do it. Some are on the receiving end of that aren't ready for that kind of stuff, and whatever psychologically it does to their mind when they hear nasty things about them on social media, they think it's the end all be all because that's their world. Because how many people do we know? No one particular is always constantly on their phone doing whatever.
Well, at 14, we've talked about this on the show before. At 14, 13, 15, your friends are your whole life. You don't really give a shit about family at that age. Like, your parents are embarrassing, whatever. Your friends are your whole world.
No, I know.
So if your friends start making fun of you, if stuff like that starts to happen, if you're bullied, if you don't have the latest iPhone and the latest this and that everyone else has, you feel less than. So if we take out that altogether, then there's nothing to compare. Kids will still be kids, and you're still going to have bullies, and you're still going to have assholes, but it's a little easier to rein in real life versus social media. And then there's the other aspect of it, like it was said in the article, where you have the child predators. Now it's not only like, don't have your kid in the front yard because there might be the guy with the ice cream van, let's pet the puppies. Now it's they can make fake profiles pretending to be another kid. Like, there's predators in the computer trying to befriend your child to get them to come out with them. So, and that's a lot harder to vet.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all.
It's harder. It's harder to teach kids how to look out for that at that age.
You know what? I'm glad Santos decided to do that then, because there is that possibility. Folks, this world's a lot darker than it was 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, I grew up 40 years ago, and it was a different world. So
I still played outside as a kid. I wouldn't trust my kids to play how I used to play now. But then you also don't want them just sitting on the computer because of the stuff that's on the computer, especially with the progression of AI in the last year or so. Now it's like people can make completely fake people, and you can completely alter a photo, and you can make yourself look 20 years younger and this and that. Like, you can do so much stuff to yourself and pretend to be another kid, or, and say, hey, let's go hang out at the park. And then, hey, I'm going to go hang out with Johnny at the park. And then Johnny ends up being 45. So it's like, and that is a lot harder on parents to vet, because if you go and you look at their profile and it's a kid's profile, you're like, oh, okay, Johnny's real. But that might not be a real picture of Johnny. Are you going to go through every message, try and look through everything to like try and figure out who this kid is? Like, it makes it a lot more difficult.
I agree.
So just taking out that to begin with, hey, kids might not like it that they have to be 16 before they can have their own stuff, but you know what? It's protecting you. Like, you'll understand when you're older, like a lot of things in life.
Right. Folks, it's like napping. Okay, as a kid, kids don't like napping. They think it's ridiculous. It's a waste of their time. When you get older, napping's good. Okay, napping's a lot of fun. Napping kind of helps you reset your mind a little bit. That's all it is. So,
except a lot more dangerous in this aspect.
Oh, okay. Well,
this can protect you. This can protect you from being unalived.
Right. Well, once again, thank everybody for.
This is why I like DeSantis, though. Like, he does stuff that, people are going to push back on, but ultimately, he's a very good politician. Like, he gets stuff done, and he does, like, if he says he's going to do something, he gets it done. And, like, he vetoed the original bill that was a lot stricter, and he made a more middle ground version of the bill, where, okay, instead of 16, we'll drop it to 14, but 14 and 15-year-olds have to have parent permission to do anything. Mm-hmm. So he was able to make it a little less strict.
But the problem you run into with that, though, is this. There are those parents who don't care.
Yeah.
And then how do you fight that battle?
That's a battle that really can't be fought, because at the end of the day, those parents aren't going to care about anything anyway. It's the same parents who, we all had that one friend growing up who was always at our house because they didn't want to be at home, and you didn't really understand it when you were a kid, but now it's because shit was going on behind closed doors. It's like,
or just the parents that just like, well, I have this kid that's kind of like, a nuisance in my life, so I don't pay them any attention. So they're sitting there going, well, what about me? It's like, well, just figure it out. So they're going to go out and figure out bad things of how to to grow up quickly, as it would be. And that's once again, you can't police that. You try to, but it's hard to.
there's no law that's going to be perfect to protect every kid, but at least this is a start, and it allows kids to still have a little bit of freedom of expression. And like, social media is a kind of form of expression now. It's a way to be yourself online, but it still puts some protections in place to at least very young kids that may not be able to differentiate between someone that's real or fake. Like, you can go on Facebook, and as adults, we can see like those bot accounts that are like, oh, I happened upon your profile and I really like your picture, but it won't let me send you a friend request. Please request me. It's a bot and it's fake, right? But a 13, 12-year-old might not understand that. They might think it's just some nice person that likes their pictures and was having issues adding them, and they might add them, and then your entire shit gets hacked or whatever. Like, they might not be able to make those connections that you can make it as an adult. Pam's comment.
I'm sorry. I'm doing 5 things at once here.
You're supposed to be paying attention to the conversation, sir.
I know. I had the best parents, and exactly.
Such an angel. But speaking of AI stuff, I wanted to talk about this because Pamela Emma, I did this photo of her. I was messing around with my editing app. But Pam is under the impression that I did a lot to this photo, and I didn't actually do very much to the photo. So, joke's on you, bitch. You're actually this pretty. All I did was I gave you a hairdo, which could easily be done. It could easily be done if we went to the salon. You get gray hair with some silver highlights, boom, and straighten it. It's right there. 2, all I did was put some makeup on your face. I gave you contour, put some lip shine on your lips. I put some foundation on, darken your eyebrows, gave you eyeliner and eyeshadow. And that is all I did to that picture. I didn't do anything else. Where did this guy disappeared? I gotta wait for him to come back because I don't know how to end the show and stuff. But yes, so kick my butt all you want, lady, but I'm telling you, you're beautiful, and I didn't actually edit this photo all that much. So, joke's on you. Wait. Can't see my face. Where the hell did Trey go? I gotta wait for him to come back, guys. So all I'm saying, Pamela, is that if you ever want me to just do up your face, let me do up your face. Let's go get our hair done together, and I can make you look just like this damn picture. Because I didn't change your cheekbones. I didn't edit your like nose or anything like that. I didn't do anything to it other than makeup and hair. So, joke's on you, bitch. I don't know how to end the show, guys. It's he has the all the buttons. You love me, Pam, and I love you. I'm waiting on Trey. And I didn't tell him to put this picture up. He's the one that put it up. So we're just gonna stare at Pam's beautiful face till Trey gets back because I can't take anything off the screen. So what do you think, Pam? What do you think about kids and social media? Let's get some people interaction here so I'm not talking to myself. you didn't have it when you were young. Yeah, I had it. I think I was about 14 or 15 when I got my first one. It was when MySpace was a thing. I remember there even being creepy people at that time point. So it's like I can only imagine how bad it is now with how you can make yourself look like another person and stuff now with all the editing and everything else. It can't be good to have your head filled with trash. What people say matters at all ages. Yeah, like, you know, I remember the saying, like, sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me. But words definitely hurt, and especially when you're young, because being young can have. I gotta call Trey. Where is this guy? I can't end the show.
Hey.
I can't end the show without you.
I know. My internet cut out, so I'm still trying to get back on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hurry up. Hurry, please. I'm sorry, Pam. I can't do anything. Only one person has control over the buttons and stuff in the pictures, and he's the host of the show, so he has all the buttons, so I can't press anything. There's nothing I can do. Your picture didn't break the show. Shut up. No, Trey's Wi-Fi went out, so he had to restart his computer. It's because he was messing with stuff on the side instead of paying attention to the show. Oh, wait. The picture's gone.
I'm in Wi-Fi hell out here right now.
Pam was really upset about her picture being on there for that long.
I'm sorry. Well, I'm gonna end the show now because right now I don't know what else to do with this entire thing.
Welcome to the Daily Grind, guys.
Huh?
I said, welcome to the Daily Grind.
Right. Yeah, it's a real thing here, folks. All right. Well, all of mine will be working again soon because we're not gonna need it right now. But thank y'all for joining us here for this week's show. And hopefully we'll not oversleep tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.